Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are Pet Peeve Friday. Welcome to Pet Peeve Friday, Soapbox Friday, whichever way you want to call it. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about things that bother me, and I'd like to know if they bother you. And guess what? I got my notes. I always like to have notes because sometimes you get brain freeze when you're on video. So here we go. Are you ready? This is about Facebook Marketplace. So I think everybody is familiar with Marketplace. It's a platform online where you can sell things or buy things if you're looking for specific items. You can easily research it, how far it's located. You can incorporate, how far you need to drive to get it, or you can, what I like to do is I like to incorporate it with other places. Like I try to shop within an hour of my location. Sometimes if I know I'm going somewhere far, then I may search other cities or around other cities for a wider variety of things that I might be looking for. Recently, I'd like to share an experience. I think it was a good experience, but it does show that you need to be careful with who you're dealing with because you don't know these people you're buying from or selling to. So you got to be careful when giving your address. Some people like to do a porch pickup, I guess, so they don't have to confront the people. I don't have a problem with that necessarily, but it's not a bad idea. Some people like to meet at a third undisclosed location, like maybe a Dollar General or a Walmart parking lot. That's fine. It's whatever gets the deal done. You're looking for the best deal. You're not necessarily looking for a best friend. So I had an experience where I bought something and didn't check it thoroughly to see if it worked. Okay. Fortunately, I reached back out to the seller and it didn't work. We're talking about $60. And I said, hey, this item doesn't work. You said you had another one. Could I exchange it? Or could I get a refund? And there was a little bit of resistance at first, but then they did agree eventually to have me come to their house and they would refund me. So that was a great instance, but that's not normal instance. These were great people. They were they were Christian people, and you could hear that in their tone and the words that they were using. So I'm grateful for that. I'm glad they weren't trying to screw me over, because it's important to know that you might get away with screwing somebody over on some money if you're a seller, but God sees everything, and what you do is important. So you don't want to treat people wrong. You want to do the right thing. So when you're selling something, be responsible and check it and make sure it works first before you try and sell it. I know I've done that. If I've sold something and it didn't work, I wouldn't sell it, or I'd sell it at a reduced price and mention in the posting that, hey, this item, it doesn't do this, but it will do this and this. And so that works. Right now, in fact, I'm trying to sell an old bed frame. Now, I could take it to the dump because for me, I don't think it's really worth selling. But I put a small price on it, like $5 or $10. Why do I do that? Because then someone might take it for you and you don't have to haul it off to the dump. But if you make it free, then you're going to get inundated with people that just want free stuff, and then they don't follow through and they don't show up, and it just what they do is they pirate your day. They take away your time and effort, and they're not intending to come and get it anyway. So you get a whole bunch of that too. So just be careful with Facebook Marketplace. Now, the good things I like about it is you can get some really good things that work for a really good price. And you're not paying sales tax with that stuff. So that's my big thing. That's what I like to try to avoid, is paying sales tax, because the sales tax is pretty high. Here in Tennessee, it's 9.25%. I think it's outrageous. I think it's unnecessary. I think the government puts its hands in pockets that they don't belong. I think if someone sells something to someone else, private seller to private seller, or even a business, I don't think that Uncle Sam has any business with trying to take part of those proceeds. They didn't help develop that business. They didn't have any risk or skin in the game. Why are they getting a cut? So I just have a moral opposition to that. Now, I'm not against all taxes. I think where they provide a service, they should get an entitlement. Like I don't have a problem paying road taxes or anything. Somebody built those roads, so they should get some money back to help maintain those roads. So in that instance, I understand it. But for capital or for items that are just being moved from one owner to another, what did they have to do with that? Nothing. So I do think that the government overreaches. So wherever I can save on tax, I will. Tennessee's tax is not too bad here. I'm getting a little off topic, and I'll get back to it here in a second. But if you can, they have a high sales tax, but the property tax isn't high. They don't have an income tax. So there's other areas where it's really low. The only thing high here in Tennessee is the sales tax. And I guess they have to make it up somewhere. But at least with sales tax, you have an option on whether you want to pay it or not. You have a couple of options, actually. I can shop on the base and there's no tax. I can go across the state line to Alabama and it's a less tax. Or I can go across the state line in Georgia and there's less tax. Tennessee does have a high sales tax. But if that's all they got, I can manage what I want to pay for. I can go into Lowe's and say, hey, is this worth me paying an extra 9.25% sales tax? Now the price of the item is actually going to be this. Do I want to pay that? Is it worth it to me? At least I have an option. I can walk away and say, you know what, it's not that important to me. I'm going to wait and see if I can't find it, when I go to Alabama or when I go down to Florida. Well, Florida has a high sales tax too, but it's not 9.25%. So there's other options. At least you have an option. So anyway, let's get back to Marketplace. No sales tax. That's what I love about Marketplace. And sometimes you meet some really nice people, and that's always a plus, to meet some nice people. And here in Tennessee, it's been a plus. About everybody I've ran into has been nice or helpful or courteous, and it's really nice to see. They have a Facebook group here called Tullahoma Talk. And people will get on there sometimes and they'll just say, hey, there's a wreck down on highway whatever. Has anybody heard what it was? And you'll get a few snide comments. But for the most part, people are helpful. They'll actually say, oh, yeah, there was a 3-car pileup or the police are in the area because of ABC. And you'll get, responsible answers and not just jerks trying to be hilarious, which they aren't. They're normally pretty helpful. And my experience in Florida was completely different. It's like everybody's a jackhole in Florida and has some comment to say, and I just find it kind of rude and off-putting. You'd have a few nice people, but by and large here, the people have been tremendously helpful, and I'm grateful, and it's just a better place to live because the people are more gracious. Anyway, I always get off topic and getting back to Marketplace, but it does tie into Marketplace because you're going to end up meeting people. People are either going to come to your house or they're going to come to a Walmart parking lot, or you're going to end up going to their place looking at an item. And so you're going to have to get along at least for 5 minutes or something until you do a transaction or make a deal or get questions answered. So these are some of my things about Marketplace I just wanted to go over and share with you guys. These are my pet peeves. My biggest thing is I'm looking for an item. Let's say I'm looking for a laptop computer. So I reach out to the seller and I say, hey, maybe I have a question. Does everything on this laptop work? Does it function properly? Is it not have viruses on it? Does it have a case with it? Does the power cord come with it? Do you have it? Does it work? Common questions about an item, right? And you'll get either a slow response, a lack of response, or no response. And that to me irritates me because you're posting some, or they come back the next day and say, oh, I sold it. So it's very irritating to me and a waste of my time if I am interested in an item and I reach out to somebody and I want to have a conversation about it and ask a few questions and they don't respond. Why are you putting something up on Marketplace if you do not intend to respond in a timely manner, be willing to answer questions, and take the post down when you're done selling it? It only takes a few clicks to put a post, to take it down, to put one up. Well, it takes a little longer to put one up, but to remove it or to say it's sold, it takes it's like 3 buttons you got to click on the app. It's really easy. In fact, Marketplace will even prompt you after a few days and say, hey, have you sold this yet? If you have, you can renew it, or you can just let it go and it'll expire off. I'm thankful for that because most people don't follow through and follow up on their intention to take something down when they're selling something. And I just find it very irritating to me. To me, it's about not paying attention to detail. Another thing is being timely. If you agree to meet somebody, let's say at 10 o'clock in the morning, I would expect that at 5 minutes to 10, I'm either expecting you to show up or I'm going to be there. Because I've always been that way in my life, and maybe it's my military upbringing, but as a responsible buyer, I will show up 5 to 10 minutes early. If you're not early, you're late. If you're not 10 minutes early, you're already late for me. There's an appointment. You set appointments to go to medical, to go to doctors. You make appointments. There's a time. You're not walking in the door 5 after. That's late. I'm already off to my next patient. You're holding people up when you're late. You're holding people up when you're walking in the door right on time. I think that's late. I think you need to be there a little bit early, parking, walking to the door, knocking on the door, and engaging with the person that's selling to you. That needs to happen on time. And I always try to be on time. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Am I being overly? Drop it in the comments. Let me know. But I think you're tying up people's time and you're being inconsiderate when you're not on time. If you can't be there at 10, then communicate with the person and say, hey, I'm running a few minutes late. It's going to be about 10:15. Is that okay? And, I'm sure they're going to say, yeah, that's fine. But at least you let them know. That's a courtesy. And that sets the groundwork for good communication when you get there. And I think people appreciate that. So when you're dealing with marketplace, be on time. Don't be slow on your responses or lackadaisical or irresponsible. Also, another pet peeve too are surveys. I call them surveys from the sellers or from the buyers. I'm sorry. You have something listed and they say, is it still available? And you'll see some people actually put in their ads, if you say it's unavailable or if it's posted, it's still available. Quit asking, is it still available? I can understand why people might be irritated with that, but I don't think it's out of the way to ask if this thing is still available, because at least 10 or 20% of the items you'll find out have been sold and they just didn't take them down. So I think it's okay to ask. I'm not irritated by that. I just don't take it as oh yeah, they're interested. I'm taking it as they're doing a survey. They're wanting to know because then you never hear anything back from them. You say, yes, it is available, and then you're expecting to get a response, right? Well, they're interested and it's available. So the next step would be, when can I come take a look at it? Or you might have a question about the item. So if you're going to respond with, is the item still available? Follow it up with a question or a time to meet or something. Don't just ghost it. Ghosting people is rude, it's irresponsible, and it's wasting people's time. It's wasting both people's time. Don't do that. It's childish. I mean, we're all adults, right? You're posting something on Facebook Marketplace. Be an adult. Follow through with it. If you decide not to sell it or you have sold it, take it down. Be responsible. So that's another item here. I already touched on it, so we'll just move on. Another one is selling items out from under you. You've agreed to something. In fact, I have something right now I've agreed to. It's a little far for me to drive there because it's like an hour and a half. And it's a $60 item. So I asked the person if I could come and get it on Sunday, because on Sunday I plan on being in that area. So I would like to incorporate my visit Sunday to the area with picking that item up in that area. That makes sense, right? That saves money, driving time and gas and all that. That's not free. So they said, yeah, I'll see you on Sunday. I said, great. I'll give you an ETA and a time as soon as on Sunday, you shoot me an address in the morning so I can plan it, and then I'll give you an ETA. And that ETA is an estimated time of arrival when you expect to arrive, so you're not holding them up. So if they had planned something they wanted to do that day, they can plan around it so they can make a point of being there for you, to meet you, to talk about this item. I think that's respectful, and that's how you treat people. Another item, items that don't work. Don't list them if they don't work. If it's a plug-in appliance, test it. I know my Jeep has an inverter, or a converter, I guess you would say. It converts battery power to 110. So if you're buying something, let's say you're buying a fan that has a plug on it, you can plug it into that converter, and it will tell you, you'll be able to see if the fan works or not, or if the light works or not. That's a great tool. Make sure it works before you drive away and you waste your time. Sketchy people, when you're going to a place to meet them in their location in particular, and they live in a sketchy part of town, it's, maybe it's rundown, or maybe it's apartments, or maybe they're meeting you in a third undisclosed location and they come in a pickup truck or something that's falling apart, or it's full of scrap metal. This should trigger signs. It doesn't say that you don't meet with them. It just says be aware and be cautious. You can meet nice people that just live a certain way, and it doesn't mean, now, am I being prejudicial? Am I profiling people? Yeah, so I'm being cautious. I'm not saying anything to them about it. But yeah, I mean, I've lived in areas where it's less than, it's kind of sketchy. You're not going to walk the cities of Chicago or New York at 2 o'clock in the morning, are you? Well, why not? Because it's sketchy. Something could happen to you. Your safety's at risk. And so pick a place, pick a location, an area of town that is going to have good vibe, or is going to, be conducive to a conversation and not get you killed or hurt or maimed or stolen from or something of that nature. We live in different times, and I wish people would get back to doing the right thing, and maybe many of them will, but all of them will not. And so you just got to be careful. Be wary of items that require deposit. Well, I'll hold it for you if you give me a deposit. Well, I'm not doing that, because you'll never see that money again and you'll never hear from them again. And that's common, and that's unfortunate. If they won't hold an item, I understand. Most items on Marketplace are first come, first serve, and I completely understand that. Because if you hold an item for someone for, let's say, a couple days, and you're telling several other people, hey, it's already been spoken for, if this guy doesn't come, then I'll sell it to you, you might lose a sale. So I understand that. You're trying to get rid of an item, or you're trying to move an item for space in most cases. I mean, that can happen. I mean, it's like I've got something I'm supposed to look at Sunday. If he sells it before Sunday, I understand. I can't get mad at the guy. Now, I hope he lets me know. I hope I don't drive all that way and he decides, oh yeah, I sold it. Well, was it too much for you to say, hey, I sold that item, don't come? I mean, be respectful of other people's time and energies and efforts. I hate this one too. I think I spoke to this one. Lack of follow through from the buyers. Someone says they're going to come. They get dimensions. They take time from your day to have to go remeasure something that may not be in the post or what have you, and then you don't hear from them again. Well, I'll come and pick it up tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and they don't reach out to you. Be respectful and follow through. If you decided not to buy it, be respectful and let the seller know, hey, my plans changed and I'm going to go with something different. That's all you have to say. It's not being rude, and the seller shouldn't be offended. People buy and sell and change their minds all the time. That's not being offended. You don't know the person personally, so don't take offense to it. It's just they change their plans and they're letting you know. So if you were holding it for somebody, you can release it. You can sell it to somebody else without any guilt. So be courteous both ways, as buyer and seller. That's very important. Do what you say and say what you're going to do. That's very important as well. Couple more things. That's all I have in my notes, but I just thought of a couple more things. Bad pictures. A lot of people are terrible at taking pictures. When you take a picture of an item, it shouldn't be in a box with maybe the SKU number on it. That doesn't tell you anything about the color. I mean, I guess you can look those things up, but if you're really trying to sell something, you might need to take it out of the box, maybe put it together, or at least some semblance of putting it together if it's not too time consuming, so a potential buyer can actually see the item. Because if you see the item, then you're more likely to buy the item. Oh yeah, I like this one. Like let's say you're looking for a ceiling fan. Well, there's all kinds of ceiling fans. There's some that are flush mounted, there's some that hang down, and so you need to see it. Sometimes you need to see how far does it hang down. Is it 4 inches, 6 inches, 12 inches, 30 inches? I mean, it makes a difference. Is it gold plated? Is it just brass? I mean, those subtle things can make a difference because you have a certain picture in your mind in that space, and then you're trying to get a picture of the item. So bad pictures are horrible. Take pictures. The more pictures, the better will help sell it. And take your time to make good pictures. Look at good lighting and all of that. A lot of people don't think about that stuff. Also, this is one too, and I find it both irritating and funny that the people would be this dumb, but they sell items and the item is filthy. Let's say the item is just, you're trying to sell a car and the car door is open and they have a picture of the inside and the mats are dirty, they're filthy, there's diapers in the car, there's trash in the car, people throw the McDonald's wrappers in the floorboard. You're not going to sell that car to anybody that you're going to want visit your house. You are not. And they even say in the ad, hey, it's dirty, but if you clean it up, you might, why don't you clean it up as a seller and get top dollar for it? You should clean it up. Nobody else wants to clean up other people's messes. That's disgusting. So clean the item before you post it. Okay? You'll get better money for it anyway, so your time is well spent. And that's just a pet peeve. Well, I just wanted to talk to you guys for a few minutes on Pet Peeve Friday. I don't know if this will be a regular thing. I think it's fun. I like doing it. And I like hearing your comments. And I'll comment back. You leave a comment, I'll comment back. I'll either agree or I disagree, and we'll move on. But hey, let me know what you think about Pet Peeve Friday or Soapbox Friday, and I'd like to hear you opine. I'd like to hear your comments, and I'll reply. And you guys have a fabulous Friday out there, and we'll talk to you soon. And thanks for joining me here on Shoreline the Driveway.